Marcroft.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It's a pleasure to stand on behalf of New Zealand First in reply to the Prime Minister's statement, of which we absolutely support. And I'd just like to acknowledge the member who's just resumed her seat about the positivity on this side of the House, because I think that's a really important focus for the government. And it is one of our purposes, which is to have, our purpose is to ensure that we have absolute focus, we have a definiteness of purpose in terms of achieving economic prosperity, not just for those who have a business, but for everyone in our society. And why is it so important, Mr Speaker, that we do have economic prosperity across New Zealand? Well, we live in a really abundant country, and we really should be focusing on how do we manage those resources that can turn into pūtea, so that when we need to invest socially, we have the money as a country in order to do that, whether it's into housing, whether it's into hospitals, to education or other social needs. But we have to have money in the bank to do that. So our purpose, of course, is to focus on our economic prosperity, and we have a burning desire on this side of the House to achieve that. And we will do that by removing the red and the green tape, because those are the blocks that are stopping a lot of the growth around the country in various sectors. And I liken it to this. The roots don't cause the growth. It is the creation of a fertile soil in which you plant the seed to germinate, to grow and multiply itself again and again and again, so that what was originally one small seed becomes countless millions. And that's having that fertile soil. So creating that opportunity for that soil to flourish into the seed to flourish is all about removing the blocks that stop. So we have on this side of the House what I'd like to term as an abundance consciousness. An earlier contribution from that side of the House in this debate by the Green leader, who said no one is entitled to make a profit. Now that's an outrageous statement, and that is a statement which shows absolute poverty consciousness. It's conditioned thinking, it's negative constrictive thinking, and when you have thinking like that, the economy will definitely not grow. We are focused in New Zealand First on very practical, pragmatic solutions to the problem the country faces. And we come up with great ideas, and we have been able through our coalition negotiations to develop the Regional Infrastructure Fund, also known as the RIF formerly known as the PGF, and we are able to, through Minister Matua Jones, spread out that $1.2 billion out across the regions. The Matua preaching the gospel of growth, and he's been doing that all of last year with his regional summits, and many of you have been in attendance as electorate MPs to some of those regional summits around the country, and I've been privileged to attend those in Whakatane, Southland, up in the north, the Manawatu as well, because rebuilding a more dynamic, productive economy, increasing prosperity, and boosting opportunities for all New Zealanders. We need strong local industries that are vital for our regional communities to become economically resilient. So that $1.2 billion over 3 years, the RIF is extremely well run. And it is delivering concrete opportunities already. Mr Speaker, we're also putting money through the RIF and in collaboration with Minister Pōtaka as well. In Te Ratana, money has been spent there for structural upgrades of the Ratana Pā. In Waitangi, the treaty grounds have received $10.2 million. Now, it's also important, not only is it the first signing of the Treaty of Waitangi, but also it's our #1 tourism destination. 160,000 people visited the treaty grounds over the last year. So it's a really important place that we put some pūtea into. Just noting today is February the 12th. Today is actually the signing 185 years ago of the largest group of Ngāpuhi chiefs who did the signing on the 12th of February at Mangangu in the Hokianga. So today they're commemorating that today, so I thought it was worthwhile mentioning that as well. The RIF is also providing some really amazing small community energy projects to ensure those small communities like those up in the north where they experience power poverty. Te Kao Community Microgrid Project will be receiving money so they can construct a solar and wind-powered microgrid which will be connected to a community battery for all those in Te Kao Village. Low-cost energy supply to the community, that is an absolutely important piece of infrastructure that is currently missing in that community. That'll ensure they've got power security. Waimamaku, this community solar resilience program, also about solar power connecting up to battery to ensure that community and businesses there have a supply of power. Mr. Speaker, flood resilience has been a really important part of the RIF, and $200 million has been set aside for various projects. New Zealand First, we believe that in terms of climate, our response is about adaptation, enabling communities to have security with these adverse weather events that we're seeing more often. And so $200 million has been put aside. 42 projects have been identified, $101 million there, and they'll be co-partnered alongside their relevant local authorities, co-investing the balance of those. Stop banks, pumping stations, groins and culverts. That is a really sensible, practical and pragmatic solution New Zealand First has been providing. Mr. Speaker, I have some time left and I really want to talk about the blue economy as the Parliamentary Undersecretary to the Minister for Oceans and Fisheries. Our blue economy is an economy that can grow, and we can increase the sector to $3 billion by 2035, and that's going to be done in a number of ways. Seafood production, and talking about mussels, it's really important because to grow mussels you need spat. That's the little itty bitty babies, but the wild caught spat has a very limited ability to survive when it's been transferred onto the mussel farms. Only about 5% of the wild caught spat actually survives. So there is a project which is underway to ensure that we can develop alongside University of Auckland, the Coromandel Marine Farmers Association, the Marine Farming Association, Aquaculture New Zealand, Green Shell Spat Company and Sanford to develop an innovative nursery culture system so that we provide some certainty, stability and sustainability into the mussel growing sector. Ocean Beach. If anyone's had the opportunity, I do recommend every member of Parliament heads to Ocean Beach. It's the old meatworks down in Bluff. It looks pretty grotty. It's an old factory. It looks dilapidated, but go inside the doors and what you'll see is the most amazing amount of marine farming which is underway. Thousands of baby power being grown, lots and lots of little whitebait, Manaki whitebait are there growing their whitebait. They make excellent fritters. And also Asparagoptis, which is the red native seaweed, which has potentially marine inhibiting properties. That has been grown in that factory as well. But while you're there, wait, there's more. You must check out the Bluff Gin Distillery, which is also on the site. So multiple reasons to go there. I do recommend it. Aquaculture permits are really important to ensure that our marine farmers are able to work on into the future. $6 million has been saved by for marine farm owners, around 200 of them, because the Minister has extended the permits out to 2050. That's been a really important piece of work that has been done to give the industry some certainty. Mr. Speaker, just very briefly, I'd like to also talk about the sustainability being a bottom line for our fishing industry, which is an absolute success story in New Zealand. It generates about $1.6 billion in exports each year. We should be pleased about that. It employs 9,000 people directly. But wait, there's more we can do to improve productivity and efficiency rather than just increasing our catch volumes, and that is a focus of the Minister. Mr. Speaker, the blue economy has so much more room to grow. It'll enable the productivity and the certainty for those that work in the industry. We have a great product that the world wants because we have the most amazing clean protein, lots of noise coming from the other side of the house, clearly doesn't eat fish. And Mr. Speaker, I'm really pleased that we have a focus in this government on the abundance and harvesting that abundance that New Zealand produces. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.